Hi, good evening, friends. Thank you for tuning in for those that are online. I appreciate you, and especially those that have sent questions, those that met me on the road to tell me how the two videos I shared blessed you. And I'm really glad that you were really blessed by this video. So I just have, let me see how many points, just 14 points, and I'll be very brief about them on how you can lead people in worship and get them carried along when you are leading them. It's very important. It's very, very important. I had to jot them down so that I'll work with time. Some complained to me that it was a long video. They couldn't, if they're going through the video and something comes up, when they stop, they have to start all over again. So I tried to jot the points down so I'll be very brief and it could reach you. Please, I still encourage you again. Download this video, share this video to your friend, your choir members. You can tag your friends that sing, you can tag your church members, you can tag your pastors, you can tag anyone that you think this video is going to be of great help to. So, building from some of the things I discussed the other day, today I just want to talk about how you can lead, and it's not necessarily all the points. There are many things that you can do, but these are the major things that I trust and I'm sure will help you as a music minister, as a psalmist, and probably you just want to learn to encourage others to build your worship in your church. Sometimes I don't want to use the word, but there are times that when you hear your band sing or your choir sing, it gets so bored, it gets so busy, it gets so choked up with a lot of things in it. So it's like you're just hearing sound and the essence of the music is taken out of the music. And I think this happens because we do things without proper knowledge on how it will help us as singers. So these are some of the things that I've learned. I was taught, and I researched some things, and I've been to different churches for programs where I'm invited to go and minister, or a program where I just go to just be blessed, and I observe things that I see that is of great help for every gathering, every gathering. Now, the first is, as a group or as an individual, you have to be prayerful. You will have to be prayerful, because when you're called into ministry, the only thing that can keep you there is when you keep praying for God to reveal the reason and the purpose why you are there. So being a singer, being a worship leader, a song leader, or however, what all the names you call it, it's very important that you are prayerful. A prayerful man, a man that is standing on his knees, goes far and he listens to God more. It becomes the business that he does is not all about him but all about God. So the first point is be prayerful as a team. Be prayerful as an individual. Be prayerful as an instrumentalist. Be prayerful as a singer, as a backup singer. Be prayerful as a pastor. This is very important. This is the first point. And the second point is know the environment where you are. Now, I remember sometimes when I was in Kaduna, a pastor called me that he wanted me to lead praise worship during the New Year crossover. And I had to politely make him understand that I can actually sing, and we could do trendy songs, people will dance and they will jump, but the essence of worshiping and connecting with them will be lost out. Because I could teach the band members songs, they will learn, they know the songs, but it's not the kind of song that people in that environment will get to relate with. So you see, the easiest way you could lead people is knowing the environment where you are. You have to know the environment where you are. Where you are, do they speak only Hausa? Do they speak only Yoruba? Do they speak English? What kind of environment are they at? And you need to know the kind of music that could help carry them along. Now, sometimes it is mechanical, but most times it's spiritual. But I'm just trying to bring out the mechanical part of this aspect here, because the only way you can make people carried along, you don't just go to a church where they know they appreciate reggae more, and then you try to sing Makosa. It will be difficult for them to relate with you because you need to understand the environment. And the third point, as the environment, you've understood where you are. You need to know their language. What kind of language? What is their language in music? What is their genre? Is it reggae? Is it pop? Is it blues? Is it makossa? Is it you can just keep naming the genres. You understand? It's very, very important. Very, very important. When you know the language of that group of individual or the gathering where you are, that's why when you're invited for a program, you don't just start looking for the trendy songs. It's good when you are led to, but you try to ask God where you're going to, what do they speak. When Paul was talking about when you're in Rome, behave like them, it's just the aspect where I'm talking to you now. When you're there, you need to learn to understand their language. That's the easiest way that you can carry them along in leading them to worship. And then I'll be very fast, so I will not take your time here. Thank you for tuning in still. You can share this video, you can tag a friend, and you can download it if you want to. But I'm sure it's going to be a blessing to you. And then after knowing their language, introduce the song if you must. Now, this fourth point is very important. Most times if you are to lead, or maybe, in churches, there are churches that they just do praise worship, that's all. There are churches that they will do praise worship and they will do special ministration. And it's good that you if it is a must that you introduce the song you want to sing with them, or you want to sing specially differently from how it's done. But don't take so much time introducing this song, because sometimes, and I think the only thing that makes me to introduce songs is when I'm led to. Probably God dropped a word on that song and I needed to say it for people to understand what the song is all about. You understand? That's where I just have to introduce song. But most times if I'm to be on stage to sing, I just go straight to the point. I start singing. I remember there was a time I was invited to a church some years ago, and I was supposed to start singing, and I was a bit jittery. And you see, some of the things that I encourage that you introduce songs just to make you feel a bit, to ease up the tension. For me, the place where I usually sing every Sunday is not the same. If I sing in my church this Sunday, the tension I feel is different from the one I feel the next Sunday. So I need to feel relaxed. I need to feel calm. I need to feel at home. That is how I feel most times. I try to find how I can connect with the congregation or the audience. Probably to just tell them you could just greet one another, just hug one another, just tell the person how much you love Jesus. All these things, you could just create the atmosphere where they would want to connect with you. Probably they'll just smile and just laugh. Someone might have been in church and he came because of a serious problem, and probably just that gesture that you would say is just the service for him. So if you are led, if you must, introduce a song, but don't take so much time, because I know in our churches these days we're allocated time for praise worship. So if you are given 15 minutes, 30 minutes, try to use up the time and don't take the time for something that is not for. So it's very important that you introduce some, but do not take time. And if you must take time, let it be that the Holy Spirit is leading you. The Holy Spirit is leading you. I remember there was time I was invited to Uniquax in Abuja to go and minister. I will not want to say the title of the program. It's kind of funny, but it was something that when they told me the theme of the program, immediately the Holy Spirit just gave me the word for it. And when I went there for the program, I was supposed to sing. But funny enough, my friend will attest to this, that sincerely, 90% of the ministration, I just spoke the word because God was just speaking to me expressly on issues concerning the program. And funny enough, when I went for the program, nobody preached, nobody said anything. Probably that's how they wanted to do it, but how God led me was just to preach, was just to speak, and he was just bringing out the words that were meant to be. And probably the last 3, 4, 5 minutes, I sang, and you could see how the atmosphere was built because there was a word that God was dropping. So this happens in rare cases, but it should not be a wrong thing if that happens. Let the church leadership not be angry that the band or the choir refused to sing and they were just preaching or other things. I think we are called to ministry. A singer is someone that knows the scripture. So when we sing, we're actually speaking the word using sound that pleases the ears. That's just the difference between a singer and a pastor. That's the difference. Well, there are a lot of differences, but that's one of the differences. So I've taken so much time on this fourth point. The fifth point is Know the lyrics of the song. Know the lyric of the song. It's very important. I still reinstate this to my choir members, to my students, to my friends. Whenever you are to lead people in praise and worship or in any ministration, know the lyrics. It's very, very important. Knowing the lyrics of the songs make it to have a deeper understanding of the song. It makes you to relate with the writer of the song. And just like I said in the other video, if it's important, in fact, need be, it's important that you even Google about the song. What brought about the composition of this song. I remember when I got to read about the reason why Heart of Worship was written. Anytime I sing that song, I have a deep understanding of that song. It was birthed from an experience, that song. But sometimes we just, I'm coming back to the heart of worship. But I don't know why and how the song came to be. So know the lyric of the song you're leading people. Because let me tell you, amongst the congregational people, there are people that know the song better than you. So when you're singing, I was just watching a video this evening on Facebook of one of my friends that was leading praise worship. And when he just did something that he said a wrong word that wasn't supposed to be in the song, I said, wow, why would you do that? Now, you see, I was supposed to be caught up in him or him leading me while I'm streaming live on Facebook with him worshiping and leading people. But I got distracted because he didn't get the lyrics right. So getting the lyrics right makes people not to be distracted by what you're singing, because some of them, or most people, know the songs you're singing. Remember I said you should know the language of the people. I know their kind of songs. So probably the songs you're singing are songs that they have known. So if you know the lyrics of the song, it will be easier for you to carry them along and not to get them lost that you're singing something different. Except you want to add something to the song. If you want to add something to the song, make sure when you go through the lyrics you finish, and then you could add up some things. It's easy, but don't just mix the lyrics. You are bringing a word that is not supposed to be where it is. And even if you would, there should be a place where you could get them connected, that they will understand that there is an addition, not that you have to tell them or anything. But this can also happen. It has happened to me so many times. There are times when I'm invited. I remember one of these Ty Tribet song. I love Ty Tribet song so much that sometimes I hardly go to a church to minister when I'm invited. I just don't find the need not to sing that song because the song ministers to me so much, and I end up probably translating the song in Hausa, or I end up adding some things to the song. Now, after singing the song, or while singing the song, I'm trying to relate to other people that don't know the lyric of the song, probably in English or other places. But because most of the places I've gone to minister, they know Hausa, and some don't know English. So I just try to relate that with them. I remember when I was in the Redeemed Church, I sing Yoruba songs. So that's the kind of songs that they could relate with. So we sing more of Yoruba songs and English songs. And we try to avoid singing more of Hausa songs because most of the people there, they are not Hausa speaking people. It's difficult for them to relate with. So knowing the lyric of the song is very, very simple. It's very, very important. And the sixth point is be simple as possible. Be simple as possible. Now, I am trusting and I'm still praying that God helps me to doing that. Whenever you sing, don't be shouty, don't be everywhere. You don't have to ad-lib always. You don't have to. Like I usually tell my students and my friends and people, I said, in music we have 3 stages: the beginning, the middle, and the end. When you're leading people in worship, there is a stage: the beginning, the middle, and the end. They are very, very significant and very, very important. Now, the beginning part of the song you're leading people is as important as the middle, is as important as the end. So when the beginning of the song you're singing carries a problem, you have to find a way to correct it in the middle. And if the middle part of the songs you're leading is still having a problem, you have to find a way to bring the a balance with the end. It's very important, very, very important. Now, I don't want to use a song, but let's say maybe you're singing a song, maybe the song carries 2 stanzas and 1 bridge. Now, the first stanza, you could sing it very soft. That's like, I'm just giving an example. That's the beginning, and then maybe you sing the chorus, soft, and then you're singing the bridge. You just do a little of some, riffs and runs, just few of it, and then you sing the chorus. And when you go to the last verse, you could just do some, some things, and just probably you could just ask the people to be on their feet, or probably you could just add some things into the song that would give it more weight than the first and the second time you did. Now you are taking people to different levels and different dimensions. Probably you are shouting, or maybe as you're led, probably you're shouting, or you're jumping, or you're dancing, or you're on your knees, or you're lying down doing that. Now it's very important that you take advantage of that, but be as simple as possible. You don't have to ad-lib from the beginning of the line to the end. Some people do that because probably they see there are other people that know how to sing better than them, or there are people that know how to sing well. So they try to ad-lib for others around to feel that, wow, this guy is good. But remember, it's not about you. It is a praise and worship of God. Should you are led to do it, it's okay. But don't be everywhere singing. Me saying don't be everywhere is just that let your ad-lib, you let your riff and runs be minimized. Let it not be everywhere. Instrumentalists, you don't have to be playing you don't have to be making noise the same time. When a lead guitarist is leading, let the drummer play the normal beat, the keyboardist play the normal beat, and other instruments play the normal beat. Should it maybe, unless when the instrumentalist asks you, or sorry, the person leading tells you all to probably bless the Lord with your skills, maybe you could do it all together in one as you have rehearsed, or with an understanding. Psalms 47 verse 7 says that we should praise the Lord with understanding. There has to be an understanding. So it is not a competition, it's a place to worship God. I'm trying to be fast so that this video will not be long. Yeah, the seventh point, rehearse with singers and instrumentalists is very important. Very, very important. You rehearse so that when you're singing a song, probably you're singing 5 songs. You know how many times to sing the number of these songs. You know how many times not to sing them. But you know, when you're worshiping God, there's a point that you get spontaneous. There's a point that you get spontaneous. But it's very important that you rehearse the song and the keyboardist knows the chords and the major notes of the songs. I remember I think it should be the last video or the first video that I shared. I said I went to a church and then the bass guitarist was playing Makossa beats to a slow song because he doesn't know how to play the other songs, or he doesn't know how to play the song that was sung by the worship leader. So it's very important that you score songs. You don't have to wait for rehearsal to score songs. You don't have to wait for a program to score songs. They are normal songs. They are major songs that is a must for you to learn. Major songs. You know, it beats my imagination that when I go for rehearsal sometimes, or when I go to other places, probably teaching them songs that I want them to sing with me, and they say, no, I don't know that song. I say, what? You mean you've been singing? How long have you sing? They say, 10 years. But they don't know some songs. Can you imagine that someone doesn't know God is good all the time? How is that possible? Or maybe let's say what are the simple songs? I don't even know how to bring them now. But the simple songs, it's very important that you know how to sing them. It's very important that you know the lines of these songs. So work hard as a singer, work hard as an instrumentalist. And then when you're singing, when you're leading, now I love this part. The 8th point, when you're singing and leading people in worship, kill the music. What does it mean? Tell the instrumentalists to just drop down, They should just stop and let the congregation be carried on. Let them respond to worship. Let them respond to the songs, Sometimes we get so busy with the instruments and we forget about the people that are singing. So kill the music. Probably an example is you were Alpha and Omega. You could see at the point that they killed the music and all the people were carried in worship. And that's the apex. That's just the height of the song for me. People were caught up, they were connected, and they were carried along in that worship. So sometimes you could kill the music, whether it's a fast song or slow song, kill the music. It's not always, but try to observe the atmosphere. Kill the music and let people be carried along too. So let me be fast. The 9th point is don't close your eyes all through. Sometimes you just get caught up and you forget that there are people connected with you. So it's not just only you. There are people with you. Yes, close your eyes, lift up your hands in worship, go on your knees, but try to observe and understand your environment. See what is happening. You understand? Probably the song you're singing, people don't know. Now, just like I said, you are leading people. If you are leading them, they have to be connected to be led in worship. So this is very, very important. Very, very important. And then the 10th point, I'm trying to be fast here. When you see a song building an atmosphere, dwell there. When you see God's presence is manifesting in a song, just dwell there. You don't have to sing the other songs so that you just finish the list of your songs. No. Let me tell you, there are programs that I've been to and you just see that just one song is what is just creating atmospheres for healing, God speaking, God doing great and mighty things. It's very, very important. Very, very important. You don't just kill the song. You just lift up your hands. I remember I went to a church and they were singing a song. I was just on my knees. I just rose I was just worshiping God, I closed my eyes. I was just meditating and just reflecting on the love of God, the presence of God, His worship and all that He's been to me. And I just had some crazy syncopations that just brought me back to where I was before. They were not sensitive to the atmosphere. They were not sensitive to the atmosphere. They just, they just killed the atmosphere, and I just came back to the former place where I was again. Try to observe and understand your atmosphere. It's very, very important. Very, very important. And then the 11th point, remember, God responds to worship also. So don't be in a haste to end the worship sessions. And this I would like to encourage and advise my fathers, my pastors. You have a ministry, a fellowship, or how you call it. When there is a session of worship through music, you as the leader of worship, being the head of the church, being the pastor, right? You try to observe the atmosphere. Now let me tell you, it's not every Sunday that you have to preach. I went to a church with my wife some days ago when I went to Gombe, and I was really glad seeing what happened. They were celebrating their 8th-year anniversary, in the church, and then the pastor was to come and preach, and he just said, he feels God's presence so strong through the praise of the choir, and he now told the choir that, please, I would want you to continue. And then he left the stage and went and sat down, and praise continued. Now, things like this usually happen. You don't have to preach every Sunday. Sometimes God wants to respond to your worship through music, right? So when you see the atmosphere built in worship, right, through music, as a pastor, as the worship leader, as the convener of the gathering, I will encourage you to allow them to continue. Probably it's towards the end that God must have dropped another word to you that you just come and speak and say it. So you don't really have to preach all the time. I'm not trying to give an instruction, it's just an advice, and I hope it helps us. Sorry, it's getting dark, and I will try to be fast. I think I have three more points. Now, the 12th point is, as a minister, if you see the atmosphere built, don't stop them, let them continue. Just like I said, well, I think I still repeated this point again. Now let me go to the next point. It's getting dark, so that I'll finish on time. If you must sing us on if you must, now these are times, sometimes when we are spontaneous, when we get spontaneous. Now, being spontaneous means that when you're in God's presence and then He's giving you new songs, He's directing how you worship Him, He's giving you what you must do at that period of time, right? And probably if you're not spontaneous but you feel like you need to teach songs, don't be singing new songs all through. And if you have to sing new songs all through, I will advise that now this is being mechanical, not really spontaneous. If you're teaching the congregation some songs or songs during the place of praise and worship, I will advise that you just teach them songs that contains 2 lines or 4 lines at most, so they can't be carried along. Let it be easy, let it be quick, and let them try to understand what you're doing. But sometimes when God leads you and He gives you a song to sing, don't be in a haste to stop yourself. Go ahead. Probably that song was for someone. I remember when I was in the University of Jos, I was invited to A1. Those of you that are in University of Jos, you know the hall, A1. And I was supposed to go and sing a song. Myself and Joshua was to play keyboard for me. And then all of a sudden, this song, He's Able, I was on stage. That was the song that just God dropped in my spirit. And I had to tell my friend, I said, Josh, stop. We have to sing He's Able again. Oh. And then he just laughed. And we started singing. And all of a sudden, I was singing. I don't know why. I pointed my finger somewhere, not intentionally, and I saw a lady crying. She was on her knees crying, and the only thing that reflected, or the only thing that spoke to my spirit, was that song was for her. She was crying because God. At that point, I said, "Don't give up on God, because He won't give up on you." She knelt down and she was crying. Now that's the point of being spontaneous. I don't know whether she knows the song or she knows the song, but that was what I saw. I don't know other people there, but I was very sure that God spoke to many people through that ministration. So be spontaneous and let God use you. And then the last point. Now, it's good to have songs projected. If you have a projector in your church, if you can afford one, it's good to do it. But don't limit yourself to the songs you've written down on your list to project. Don't limit yourself. And projecting songs help you to help you to connect with the people, so that they will see the lyrics of the songs, should in case your diction and enunciation is not clear. If you are not singing well, and that's why I said there are times we'll get into the time that we'll do mic techniques and mic handling and how to manage this, so that you understand how your diction works. Because if your words are not clear, when they see the songs projected on a screen, it's easy for them to be carried along. But should in case you don't have that, it's good that I urge you, you could connect with me, you could private chat me, we could see how we could arrange a training for you on how you could bring your diction, your vowels, your consonants while singing, and then other things that would help you build. You need to know many things about this. You need to know more about this. Probably you could contact me and then we could find a way to talk more. Probably you're a leader in your church, or maybe in your church there is a need that they need to learn these things. You could share this video with them. And if you need more information or more things to be shared to you guys, you could just private chat me. It's okay. I'll be available for you. This is the work of God. Please share, download, and I pray that God helps you. Sorry it's getting dark. I have to stop here. I will come tomorrow or maybe in the next few days with other stuff. God bless you. I love you. My name is Israel Daniel. I'm a voice coach. I love to worship God. I'm still learning to sing. I'm a family man. I love my wife and my daughter. I love you too, and I love you always. God bless you. Have a good evening.